Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. This is Real Estate Talk on 1580 KGAL. We're live this really, I can say this sincerely, beautiful Thursday morning here at the Albany studios of KGAL KGAL Radio. The sun is shining. It is after coming back from Vegas, and we had like 3 days of rain, and now the sun is out there, and it's absolutely beautiful today. So it is truly a beautiful day in Oregon. Again, we are broadcasting from the Albany studios of KGAL KGAL Radio at the old library, the home of Silver Falls Dermatology. We're going to start the show today with a question: are you hungry? It is almost lunchtime, and if you're hungry, you want a taste on us. And that's a $10 Quiznos gift card for the first person this hour to email dave@kgal.com and mention taste on us. That's a gift certificate for $10 to the Albany Quiznos store. My guest today, and I've been working to get these two wonderful ladies here on the radio for quite some time, and a little bit my fault and some scheduling problems, end of the month kind of things coming up. So we've had some challenges since, I guess, the end of last year, the beginning of this year, but finally got them here in the studio with me today. My guests, Judy Kiss and Annalisa Zink from Amerititle right here in the Albany office. And we're going to be talking about some of the interesting and hopefully you'll find them as funny as we did, humorous things that come up during real estate transactions. Maybe get some insights into the crazy mind of an escrow officer. And if we have some time at the end of the show, we're going to answer some listener questions. But before we get into that, let's do our weekly real estate showcase. The first home in the showcase is located at 1240 Gale Street Southwest in Albany. Over 2,200 square feet with 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. This home is located in an established Southwest Albany neighborhood. It is on a large corner lot. It is just blocks from Takina Elementary School and West Albany High School. It's got lots of updates. It's a single-story home, new vinyl windows in 2010, also a new roof and new gutters in 2010. The main bathroom was updated with some hardwood flooring and some beautiful tile work. Mature landscaping, 2 decks, one of them actually covered off the back of the house, an absolute ton of storage and room to park an RV, all for $199,900. That's 1240 Gale Street Southwest in Albany, truly a gem. The next listing I'm going to talk about is a new listing. It's actually, technically, it's a pocket listing. It won't be in the multiple listing service until Monday. We're getting some staging done with Margaret Asilia on Friday afternoon, and Ryan the Lion is taking some photos for me on Saturday, but it'll be in MLS Monday. But if this interests you, you want to give me a call right away. 18.55 acres. Most of it is in timber, but there's a nicely manicured 1-acre home site. It is located on a quiet country lane outside of Lebanon, off of Providence School Drive and Griggs Drive, out in that area of Lynn County. The home is a multi-story home with a daylight basement that is partially finished. The total finished square footages are right around 2,000 square feet. The master suite is upstairs, and you enter the master suite via a really nice loft area. On the main floor, 2 bedrooms, and then there's an additional bedroom located in the daylight basement in the finished area. Also in the daylight basement, there's a large wood shop and absolutely a ton of storage. Lots of potential. If actually finished, that daylight basement would make the entire home just about 3,000 square feet. Again, it's on 18.55 acres. On the main level is an open kitchen with some beautiful oak cabinetry. The ceilings are spectacular. Vaulted ceilings, large windows. The handcrafted tongue and groove knotty pine ceilings were actually done by the owner. Beautiful craftsmanship. It just shows absolutely wonderfully. If you are looking for country tranquility and room to roam, this is your opportunity. Listed at just $339,000. It's a steal. My final showcase listing is located at 1239 Elm Street Southwest in Albany. And if you are a first-time buyer looking to take the first step on the property ladder, or maybe you're an investor looking for a chance to take advantage of today's low interest rates and rising rent prices, this is your chance. Cute as a bug. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, located again at 1239 Elm Street Southwest in Albany. It's close to everything. It's a well-maintained home. It has a new roof in 2010. It's got newer vinyl windows. It has alley access and a carport in the back, a fully fenced backyard, an open kitchen, 2 cozy bedrooms. Folks, this is a sweet deal at $99,900. And that's the Real Estate Showcase for the 7th day of March, 2013. If you want information on any of our participating homes, send me an email at realestatetalk@kgal.com. If you have a question, send that in too. Again, same email address, realestatetalk@kgal.com, or you can get that question here via our Facebook fan page, simply facebook.com/Real Estate Talk on KGAL. I love when you participate in the show. Get your questions on the air. And again, getting to the fan page is easy. If you want to do it the hard way, go to the KGAL website, click on the link for Real Estate Talk, and we have a link to the fan page there. If you are not currently working with a real estate professional and you would like a market analysis done on a property, and whether you are looking to sell that property or to buy that property, that information is vital to making a good decision. And I'm happy to do that for you. Just send me the address, realestatetalk@kgal.com. I'll provide you that market analysis at absolutely no obligation. I'd like to be on your team, though, and if you want an agent that's 100% on your side, I'm committed to working with only one client in any real estate negotiation. So give me a call or send me an email today. Finally, for this segment, if you are starting the home buying process, please contact the Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services at www.w-nhs.org. Take their homebuyer education class. It is absolutely worth it. It is a great first step on the road to home ownership. And for you, my faithful radio listeners, if you're not currently working with another real estate agent and you want to take that class, just send me an email. Let me know the date you're taking the class, and I will pay the tuition for you. I believe that strongly in the Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services home buyer education program. I'll pay the course fee for you if you just let me know you're going. Okay, folks, I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. You're listening to Real Estate Talk on KGAL. We will be right back with everything you always wanted to know about escrow, some funny stories with Judy Kiss and Annalisa Zink from Amerititle. This is Real Estate Talk.
That's someone enjoying a wonderful meal at McDonald's. That's someone enjoying a refreshing Coca-Cola for only $1. And that's the harmonious flavor of McDonald's and any size icy cold Coca-Cola soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. It's hard to describe it any other way. The simple joy of a la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Some people don't get the Northwest. Sure, we're a little eccentric, but we take plenty of things seriously, especially when it comes to food. That's why McDonald's new Fish McBites are perfect. Wild-caught Alaskan pollock that's totally delicious.
The catch that's caught here. McDonald's new Fish McBites. Flaky, bite-sized pieces of Alaskan pollock cooked to crispy perfection. It's more fun flavor to love.
If it's eccentric to take food this seriously, then who wants to be normal?
At participating McDonald's, limited time offer.
Albany's Mennonite Home is pleased to have earned a perfect score from the state of Oregon surveyors, making Mennonite Home one of the top skilled nursing and rehabilitation facilities in Oregon, providing the highest possible quality of care. As part of the Mennonite Village Retirement Community, Mennonite Home provides the rehabilitation and therapy services for people of all faiths transitioning from a hospital stay to home. They work directly with each resident's health care, pharmacy, and insurance providers, making life easier for residents and their families. A wide range of resident programs are offered to meet individual interests, including outdoor gardening, scenic walks, cooking and baking, art and music, pet therapy, and brain fitness activities. Mennonite Home is where you'll find superior standards and amazing levels of devotion. The proof is in their reputation and resident satisfaction. Rooms are currently available. Call Geraldine at 541-928-7232 or visit MennoniteHome.com.
Finding your perfect match takes time. Yet this Saturday you can finally get yours during Free Paint Saturday at Economy Supply Building Center. Get a free quart Saturday of your perfect color from the new Clark & Kensington Paint and Primer in One. Stop searching and find your soul paint from Ace, the helpful place. See Economy Supply for in-store coupon. Offer ends March 16th while supplies last. Limit 1 per household. Most colors available for tinting. See store for details. It's time to get your weekends back with help from your neighborhood Ace. Economy Supply Building Center, Lebanon.
In some workplaces, they stand around the water cooler and talk about anything and everything. But then there's the workplaces where they talk about the water cooler, like the pure water dispenser from Macro Solutions in Scioto. No deliveries, no stacking, just a push of a button for hot or cold water at your convenience. Get your office something to talk about around the water cooler at purewater-coffee.com. The pure water dispenser from Macro Solutions in Scioto. Call 1-800-537-5432. This is refreshing. Beyond the Beltway with Bruce Dumont. Sunday afternoons on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Okay, I just had to do that. I knew I could get the music to play. I realized which button was pushed that shouldn't have been, or that didn't need to have been pushed. So I love my bumper music. It's just what I do. Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity, your only resource on local radio for real estate information right here in Oregon's Mid-Willamette Valley. We're always here on Saturdays, but we sneak in a couple of Thursdays a month and take over the station. It's kind of like pirate real estate talk radio. If you've missed a show, if you're looking for information about real estate market trends, go to the website, www.KGAL.com, and click on the link for Real Estate Talk. Okay, so I want to introduce my guests today. Let me make their microphones hot. Annalisa Zink and Judy Kiss from Amerititle here in Albany. Good morning. Finally, welcome to Real Estate Talk.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful to have you here. And we've been talking quite a while. Annalisa, you joined the Rotary Club, and we started talking kind of right then about I need to get you on the air. I've been trying to get you back here for a while.
Yes,
so
scheduling conflicts.
Yeah,
we finally worked it out.
It's been busy in real estate, hasn't it?
It's been very busy.
Yeah. So why don't we start out and let me give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself and your background. Judy, why don't we start with you?
Sure. I was a real estate agent before for 7 years with the real estate agent, Gladys Blum in Salem. I was their transaction coordinator, loved it, loved everything about it, but ready to make a change.
Then you got on the right meds.
Absolutely. And I ended up coming to Amerititle, and I've been this is my 8th year with Amerititle as an escrow officer.
Oh, awesome. And Annalisa?
Yeah. So I have a real estate broker history as well for 6 years. Started in the Salem area and ended up in Portland, Milwaukee area. Used Amerititle on that side of things and thought I'd give this side a whirl, and here I am. Only been with Amerititle since October. So, yeah.
But you're still got a lot of expertise in the real estate business and some stories to share. So I know from both sides of the game that a lot of crazy things happen in the title and escrow world, and that's one of the reasons I thought this would be kind of a fun show to talk about some of that. And I'm hoping you're going to share some stories, but I want to set the tone and I want to tell a story.
We'll let you start.
Well, thank you. It's my show, so by golly, you have to let me.
Just this once.
Just this once. So this is actually a true story. Happened to me fairly early on in my real estate career, and it had to do with the review of a preliminary title report. Young, well, not so young, but first-time home buyers. They were in their, I guess, middle to late 20s, but this was the first home they were buying as a married couple, fairly newly married. My buyers, we got the preliminary title report a couple of weeks after we had opened escrow, and as we're sitting at the table going over the preliminary title report, looking at the easements and the liens against the property, we got to this section where it refers to judgments against the buyers. And I'm very used to seeing there are no judgments against John Doe. Well, in this case, there was a judgment for a child support payment against the husband.
Ooh.
The sad part, after a moment of silence as we got to that, then the yelling started because apparently the wife did not know that there was a child that the husband was paying child support for.
Whoopsie.
So, yeah,
minor details.
as a little uncomfortable for me. That particular transaction, as you can guess, did not close. So I've taken it upon myself every time I sit down with a buyer to write an earnest money agreement, the first thing I do when we get to the preliminary title report section is, and I want to let you know up front, when we get the prelim later on in the transaction, it's going to show judgments against you. So if there are any skeletons in your closet, please talk about that amongst yourselves before we get that prelim.
Open those doors now.
Open the
So
door.
you could have saved that sale, Dave.
How?
By finding him a house with one more bedroom.
Yeah, okay.
Still would have been a challenge.
So you sit in escrows far more often than I do. Judy, what's the wackiest thing that's ever happened in your life?
In my life?
Well,
or
in
my-
escrow.
Say, wait a minute.
In your life
That's
as
a
an
whole
escrow.
We're not here for
story,
that.
Dana.
Again,
That's
it's a
whole
bottle of
nother
vodka
story.
and a hot tub or
Absolutely. I have a couple of them. The one that stands out the most is a lender will send over a form, and it's called an also known as statement. And it's any variation of your name that has come up in the credit report. This particular lender wanted you to sign next to each variation of your name, stating that, yes, you are also known by that name.
Did you sign that name, or did they sign the name that they
Your
had?
They
actual.
sign the name that is typed
Okay.
beside it to say yes. And this lady had 2.5 pages, which I kind of thought was rather strange. But again, I'm neutral third party. And husband had half a page, and he quickly went through his signing of it. And I'm in a big conference room. I'm there with the lender, the mortgage broker, the realtor, the husband, the wife. There were some kids in the room also. And the husband finished up signing his names, looked over to his wife and pointed to a name and said, "Now, what is this name? That doesn't look familiar. I'm not sure what that is." And her face turned red, and she said, she laughed a little bit and said, "Oh, we'll talk about that later." And he said, "Oh, we will talk about that later." And a little part of me actually wanted to be a fly in the car on the ride home.
Just a very small part of you, though.
I didn't expect the sale to go through. I'm looking at the realtor because at this point in the signing, I've never met either party. I may have had some correspondence with them on the phone or via email, but I don't physically face-to-face meet them until they come in to sign. So I'm looking at the realtor like, okay, I'm just going to continue forward. And the husband had completely shut off at that time. He didn't care what I was saying from that point forward. He sat back, arms folded, sweat beads on his forehead going down the sides of his face, and he was livid.
If you looked up that word, not a happy camper, in the dictionary, his photo would have been there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I kept expecting to get a phone call that they were going to cancel and not purchase the home, and it never happened. So
Happy ending, maybe.
So I wonder, the comedian Ron White, I wonder
Yes.
if when he buys a house, if he actually has to sign tater salad.
only if he's taking out credit in tater salad.
There you
Well,
go. There's your
he's
lesson.
Also known as, right?
So yes, moral of the story is disclose skeletons
Disclose.
up front.
Good idea. I mean, honesty, of course, in any marriage, I would say honesty is a very important quality to a happy and successful marriage. Having it pointed out that you haven't been honest sitting at the table signing paperwork for a major purchase in your life, probably not the best
There's
way to
probably
go.
a better time.
Yeah.
Especially by a stranger. Hi. On the inside of the table. Nice to meet you.
And she's totally blaming you. So some of the other things, and I know we were talking about this before the show, this did not happen to me, but one of the escrow officers that I worked with in the past told me about a little story about homeowners insurance. And she would tell this particular story almost every escrow that I ever sat in a signing with her. When she got to the section that talked about the homeowners insurance, she would always tell the story about, and don't cancel the homeowner's insurance as a seller until the buyer has already taken possession, because she had somebody who did that. Has that ever happened to you? You ever heard that?
Yes, actually, I had a signing with a little old man. He was close to 90, and he was selling his piece of property. Great guy. He was, a seller typically signs maybe 8 pages. He owned the property free and clear, signed everything, and he questioned everything he signed because he kept saying, Judy, when I bought this house, I shook the man's hand and handed him cash, and that was it. We were done. And we finished up the signing, and I said, now I'll let you know when you can call your utilities to cancel. And he said, oh, I've already done that. Tell me, did you cancel your homeowner's insurance? He goes, oh, yep, already took care of that. I said, do you happen to know who your agent is? He did. I promptly pulled the phone onto the table. I said, we're going to call your insurance agent, and we're going to put that back on. So I have had that happen before. He kind of looked at me like I was crazy, and then I explained to him why I was asking him to put the insurance back on the property, what could happen in that time.
Well, and her story, the escrow officer who told me this story, was the seller signed on a Friday, took the insurance off. The deal was supposed to close and the deed be transferred on Monday, and the house burned down over the weekend.
Oh, good time.
Uninsured. Now, I think they were able to sort it out, but what a nightmare.
Process.
And I think that's a lot of people don't understand. Signing is not closing. We call it closing. It's kind of the slang for it. But signing is not closing. Have you ever had any other things kind of happen in relation to that particular misunderstanding?
I have. I've had sellers ask me when I'm going to give them their check when they're done signing for their proceeds of their sale, and I have to kind of explain exactly what signing is, what closing is, and when their funds will be available. So I think it's just they're not educated, so their realtors really haven't done, sorry Dave, their service to, and I know that you would never.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story kind of along the same line. Is buyer signed all the paperwork for the house and then asked for the keys from the escrow officer so that they could move into the house because the moving truck was going to be there in a half an hour. And I know this story personally because I was that buyer. And that was a mistake. So I learned that before I was in real estate when we were actually buying the house here in Oregon. We were all ready to move. Where's the keys?
Sure.
No, I'm sorry. You don't get the keys till Monday. Well, that moving truck's sitting outside my house, so I better get some damn keys now.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope, sorry.
You know, there have been times where we get those phone calls from buyers who are saying, I'm going to be homeless. I have nowhere to live. And I mean, it really pulls on our heartstrings, but there's nothing that we can do. We don't hold the keys. We don't ever want the keys. That is held, takes place between the realtors. But, we feel bad, but we can't make your lender fund on the loan until your lender is ready.
And the only real legal way to go about that is to make arrangements for early occupancy. Which is, again, something between the buyer and the seller via their real estate agents. So, we got just a couple of minutes before we go to a break. Again, I'm going to go back to a personal event signing when my wife and I were buying. And my wife is very methodical. And she decided when we were purchasing our home that she was going to read every word on every document as a buyer. And in my experience, signings for buyers take about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on questions. We were in there for an hour and 45 minutes. She had a migraine. I think she gave the escrow officer a migraine. Have you seen that happen, and what do you do?
I have seen that happen before, and that is a buyer and a borrower's right to review all the documents. All that we ask as escrow officers is we plan our schedule. So we have appointments prior to and right after your appointment. All we ask is that just give us a heads up that you'd like to review everything, because I'm more than happy to send you email. You can pick up the documents ahead of time to review them on your own time, or give me a heads up and I will schedule a little bit longer of a time for your signing.
So now when you actually go over the documents that are there, and it's for a buyer, it's quite a stack of documents, most of which have been provided by the lender. Hopefully the lender's there to answer questions. There are things that it's absolutely important that buyers read every word and understand in detail. But a lot of it is boilerplate, pro forma kind of stuff, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, in your loan package, I feel the most important material is your note. You want to make sure that the terms of your note are exactly what you were told they were going to be. Your truth in lending. Look at all your fees. You make sure you don't have an adjustable rate rider. Make sure you don't have a balloon rider. That's what's important. Everything else is just pretty much boilerplate.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes me back to my real estate years too, going to a signing, where you're working with a certain personality or characteristic of, someone who's going to want to review all of those documents beforehand and not just glance through them and skim through them, but actually sit down and read each word. And that's, I feel, then and still is a realtor's responsibility to make sure they have those documents to review as long as they're available, which, they always are with us. To make sure that we don't have that experience at the wrong time. That way if they have any questions, they can come in with those questions and be prepared.
Have you found in recent months, even maybe the last year or so, the timelines have gotten tighter? That sometimes it's actually harder to do that because a lot of times we've got a funding date, a closing date on the contract, and it's just barely squeaking in to get the loan documents in hand, to get a closing statement worked up, to get people into sign so you can close on time. So you don't really have a 24-hour period in advance where you can get docs to people to look at and review beforehand.
No, and I'm sure there'll always be those scenarios too. it comes with reputation. It comes with, hopefully they have a good relationship with their realtor and their lender. That's important too. So.
But we have noticed, I would say within the last 6 months, it's this hurry up and wait. They've got to schedule an appointment and we don't have loan documents. And it happens more times than Cindy Morse, who also works with us at AmeriTitle, and I would prefer, is where we're receiving those loan documents maybe 60 minutes, maybe 30 minutes before those borrowers and buyers are scheduled to be there. And so that kind of puts us, we've got to get that closing statement worked up. We've got to get the lender to approve that HUD. And, it's not just a matter of the loan documents coming to us and we're ready to go. There's a lot of things that have to happen prior to them signing.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to figure out over the break who to blame for all that. But we are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue with Judy Kiss and Annalisa Zink from AmeriTitle, talking about some of the fun adventures we've had in title and escrow. You're listening to Real Estate Talk on 1580 KGAL.
The Osgood File is sponsored in part by Regis. Let Regis help you to focus on your business while they take care of your workspace needs. Get 2 months free on a fully wired and furnished office. Call 1-800-OFFICES. This is Charles Osgood. 2 British designers have come up with a wonderfully low-cost, low-tech, high-impact source of light for a third of the people on Earth. It requires no batteries, no kerosene or fuel of any kind, and there's no running out of what it runs on, which is gravity. Jim Reeves is one of the 2 creators.
So the product consists of the generator ambient light unit. It's shipped in a very robust bag which takes ballast. You take it out of its bag, you fill this bag with gravel, sand, soil. You attach the bag, you hang the product, and when you lift the bag, then you have your light source.
More after this. Businesses, from startups to Fortune 500 firms, have something in common. They're intentional, they focus on success, and they don't get distracted. And many successful businesses have something else in common. They work from a Regis office. Your beautifully furnished wired Regis office can be ready when you need it, with a receptionist, access to meeting rooms, and state-of-the-art video conferencing, all with no long-term lease. Regis is the new way to work. Call 1-800-OFFICES and get 2 months free when you mention Osgood. That's 1-800-OFFICES. In this moment, who has your back? An insurance company delivering excellence during your claims process? Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. Let an Auto Owners independent insurance agent have your back, so when the unthinkable happens, you get the claim service you deserve. For J.D. Power and Associates award information, go to jdpower.com. Find your local independent agent at autoowners.com. The Gravity Light is designed to sell for around $5. Each 3-second pull on the bag produces a half hour of useful light. It's cheaper than solar technology. Co-creator Martin Ritterford can explain that.
The trouble with solar technology is that you have to charge a battery with the solar power that you've gained from the sun, then use the battery power to power at night. So it was really important to find the cheapest way of supplying reasonable quality light to these people.
To these people, the Gravity Light can be a giant leap forward. Right now, says Jim Reeves,
third of the world's population is off-grid. So you've got large communities across Africa and India and South America and even Northern Europe and into Russia where power is either intermittent or absent. So we want to take a large number of the devices out to the intended end users, get feedback on how the product would perform in the field. It's very different from the conventional solutions that people will be familiar with.
To them, changing the world is, to use our late colleague Eric Severod's phrase, not so wild a dream. The Osgood File. I'll see you on the television come Sunday morning on CBS. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Banking these days can be pretty impersonal. You've got your big banks, your internet banks, your do-it-yourself banks, and your too big to fail banks. That's why you might be interested in an alternative. Willamette Community Bank. Hello, this is Bill Higbee, residential lender. You deserve better service without sacrificing a thing. So if you're feeling underserved, make the switch to the best banking option out there with branches in Albany and Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank. Service like no other. We promise. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Oh, let's see. Stripes, polka dots. Man, there must be 1,000 ties here. Oh, hi, folks. AAA guy here in desperate need of a personal shopper. Like the one you'll get at AAA when you're shopping for insurance. Hey, trust AAA to make it easy, huh? Their friendly agents can choose from a number of competitive options to cover your home, auto, RV, all you hold near and dear. You'll get the personal attention AAA is known for and a customized plan that could save you money. AAA members may save even more. How about that? Now, if they could only help me pick out a necktie.
I'd go with the blue one, AAA guy. It's always the safe choice, just like AAA. Hi, this is Jackie at AAA. For a custom insurance quote, call 1-866-AAA-QUOTE. Stop by your local AAA service center or get started at AAA.com.
You're a lifesaver, Jackie. AAA. Membership means more.
AAA Oregon, Idaho is not an insurance company and offers insurance solely as an agent for other companies through its subsidiary, Automobile Association Agency. Discounts are subject to qualification and may vary by insurance company and type of insurance coverage.
If it happens overnight, Eric and Gary have it live during Red Eye Radio on Smart Talk 1580 KGAL.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We're in the studio today with two wonderful folks from AmeriTitle here in Albany, Annalisa Zink and Judy Kiss. And we've kind of been talking about some of the funny things and interesting stories that go along with escrow. Over the break, we actually did decide who to blame. And since there aren't any lenders in the studio today, we're blaming the lenders. So all in. So over the break, you said you have a story about somebody with multiple, not multiple personalities, but multiple identities.
Count, Dave. This doesn't apply to you. But I have a question for you, Judy.
Yes.
As an escrow officer, I'm purchasing a house. I come in, I'm scheduled to sign, and I have multiple identities. Which ID do I bring to closing?
Preferably the one that matches your loan documents.
Okay. So that's a good idea.
How does somebody have multiple identities legally? Is that?
I don't think there was anything legal about the situation. I think that they.
And she didn't know who she was on that day.
No. Correct. Took their wallet out and had lots of options there. So.
Yeah, this borrower wasn't sure. He was purchasing a home. I go in with a realtor and I said I need to make a photocopy of your driver's license, and he promptly whips out his wallet and puts 6 identification, and they were all Oregon driver's licenses on the table. And he looks at me and he said, well, with different names, which one do you want? Hold your composure, Judy. I said,
keep it together.
Preferably the one that matches the documents that I'm notarizing and the ones that match the name on the earnest money agreement that you signed.
And is there a call to the state police required by an escrow officer at that point?
We're a neutral third party.
Good answer. It's like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. We try to keep things as smooth on our end. But yes, that's a good thing to sort out before you come in for your signing.
Is who you are.
Yeah.
Always a good thing to know.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And, on that being said, too, just to touch base, I was actually having a conversation with Lisa Cooch, who's one of our escrow officers in our Lebanon office. And we were kind of laughing about this the other day, but I have a feeling it happens more times than not, is the confusion with power of attorney. Just because you sign a power of attorney form with someone or for someone does not mean necessarily that you have the right to sign specific paperwork. So, example A, John Doe Sr. passes away. John Doe Jr. has power of attorney to sign for him, but it's not brought up through the whole process until they get to signing and closing. There's no mention of power of attorney. Now, just because Jr. has signed a power of attorney, he is under the impression that legally he can sign for Senior, and there needs to be
But Senior never signed the power of attorney?
Senior did, but it was a limitation power of attorney. So, with no mention of it on any of the docs, the legality wasn't there. So.
Oh my.
Yes. So good to consult with a professional who can explain that process.
Well, and if you need a power of attorney for a real estate transaction, it's actually pretty easy to do that, right, Judy?
Yes, absolutely. We can help with that. We can prepare that power of attorney for those individuals. And it's also a really good idea if you think a power of attorney may come into play. Please, people, let your lender know. Yeah. They need to know this ahead of time because it's going to change the signature line on their loan documents.
And that's what happened in this case. So, yeah.
And
lesson learned.
I confess, I did this to my wife one time. We were buying a home, and I was going to be at sea when the closing was taking place. So she had to sign for me with power of attorney. Now, we did it correctly. We had the power of attorney prepared, and it was reviewed by the title company, and everybody was happy with it, and the lender knew about it. Everything was good. But I just, to this day, I've been married 23 years. I think this happened 20 years ago. My wife will still remind me about the writer's cramp from having to sign the mountain of loan documents in her name and then sign my name and then her name as his attorney in fact, handwritten on every single document.
I think your wife has every right to go ahead and remind you of that, even though it has been 20 years. And I really hope that you made up to her with a really nice gift.
That's why she gets half.
Some diamonds. So.
And also with the power of attorney, it's really important that if you do have the power of attorney, that we don't prepare it, that you get that to us ahead of time, because we need to send that to our title department. The title officer needs to review that to make sure that it is an acceptable power of attorney.
Absolutely. And again, I've had this happen on a number of occasions, short notice, where the primary person signing was not available to sign, and kind of last minute we needed to get a power of attorney and get it signed and get it reviewed so that his wife could sign for him.
Sure.
So,
yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, since you are in the current real estate loop as a broker. I was referring back to when I was doing real estate, kind of thinking about, we had a lot of online tools, of course. The internet was a very popular resource for some of my clients and prospects to search on, forms and what to expect and how, during the transaction, what to do. But there's also a lot of misleading information that they're kind of, exposed to during this process. So as a realtor today, can you just kind of fill me on what types of things are you seeing now? Are there common misconceptions that you're seeing out there that are, floating around?
Everything on the internet is true. It has to be.
Because it's on the internet.
Bonjour. I actually think it's better, because there is so much information out there, and so many of my clients do a lot of independent research. Again, I do try, especially for buyers, to get them through the home buyer education class, but they are much better educated and in large part more savvy, that at least they're knowing what questions to ask. Sure. And if they're getting conflicting information, sometimes it's as simple as, well, what you were looking at is for California and it's different in Oregon. Sure. Because it is different from state to state to state. So if you are looking online, folks, you do need to make sure that you're looking within your specific state. I was talking to some real estate professionals from Pennsylvania, for example, when I was at the RE/MAX convention. They don't do anything the way we do. They don't have this whole title and escrow thing. They have attorneys.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you go to settlement with your attorney. So it's a completely different world, and you do have to look at it with your state and the way things go on in your state. But I really, to be honest, I have not had the issue where buyers have these wild, crazy misconceptions. Most of them are pretty well educated.
That's good.
I think a lot of people feel that real estate is easy, that anyone can sell a piece of property, that they don't need a realtor. And I've seen a lot of signings where there is no realtor involved, and with my real estate background, I'm seeing red flags, but as a neutral third party, I can't say anything. For instance, some buyers purchased a piece of property and there was a buried oil tank. There was no testing done. There was no disclosure. The buyers were like, well, it's okay, because the seller said that, they still use that oil tank, and it's the original oil tank when the house was built. And it's just little things like that, yes, that seller is saving some money. That's how they look at it. But that 6% will protect them in the long run. I mean, it's disclose.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we run into that all the time. And I, from this position here behind the microphone, I don't like to get too deep into trying to persuade people. I mean, I approach for sale by owner or unrepresented sellers and unrepresented buyers as, you really have a lot of decisions to make. If you feel like you can do it, if you've got the experience, you don't really need us, but I do believe that we're worth what we're paid,
Absolutely.
By and large.
Yeah.
At least some of us are.
I agree. I agree. And a particular story comes to mind with us. These buyers did not have a real estate agent. It was a for sale by owner. They came in and signed their loan documents on Friday. It was a table fund, which means all I needed to do is fax the documents back to the lender for review to fund. Family came in, super excited, signed all their loan documents, headed out. Sunday, their car broke down. They went and purchased a new car. Monday, the lender pulled a credit check one last time before they sent the button to send that wire. And guess what? Now their debt-to-income ratio has changed. They no longer qualify for that loan. There's no realtors. I was the one that had to make that phone call to the buyers to let them know. Had they had a realtor, the realtor would have really explained to them the importance of don't purchase anything until it's done.
Wait to get that Corvette until you buy your house.
Yeah.
Or the Volvo, whatever.
And I actually do explain that. I say don't make, from the time they start the process, don't make any major purchases or do anything that will affect your credit without talking it over with your lender.
Right.
You know, because, I mean, I can't tell them, yeah, well, that'll be fine. You just go ahead and do that.
And that goes with refinances, too, which are obviously really popular right now because of how low rates are. You know, and there's a couple-day period there where the buyer can cancel the transaction.
Right, it's a 3-day right of rescission.
Correct, yep. So in that time, another recent, pretty recent example of this, and they went out, same thing, applied for a loan based on the money they were getting from the refinance back, purchased the car, and they did a credit check the next day, and they did not qualify for that refi. So, again, yes, do your research, talk to a professional.
Yeah. So lots of crazy things go on. And I think when you're dealing with the signing time frame, when you have these people sitting in a room, and again, you as the neutral third party, you may not have met these people before. Hopefully, and I try to make it to all of my signings with my clients, buyers and sellers. I love it when the lenders show up at the signings also. I think that's really important. Doesn't happen all the time. Happens a lot, though. But it's a very stressful time for a lot of people. And it's good that we can find some humor in this, and hopefully people are learning some lessons from some of the wacky things that we're talking about today that have happened. But it's a very stressful time. And I think it takes a special person, and I appreciate everything you do as an escrow officer, because it's your job to kind of keep everybody moving forward and informed and make sure that, you know, that emotion doesn't get overpowering.
Exactly. And I think it goes back to the fact that, you know, a title and escrow officer is a neutral third party. So with that being said, you know, they can't sway one way or the other, or, you know.
Do they try and suck you in a lot, Judy? Do they try and get you to do things that you're not allowed to do?
They do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They will ask questions. And again, I know the answer because of my background. I can't tell them. I can't, you know, I can't tell them what they want to hear.
You're really being stupid. Don't do this.
Have you done your homework? Do you realize, you know, let's talk about this oil tank. Let's stop for a minute, okay?
15% interest rate?
Right?
Wow, that's good.
Spoken right now. Yeah.
Interest only for the first 10 years. You know, I did have a signing where it was interest only, and the interest rate was so incredibly high that I was sweating during the signing, and it wasn't even my loan. I didn't even have to make that payment, but I could feel my blood pressure rising, and I'm just neutral third party. This isn't my loan, but it was...
That's called an escrow officer anxiety attack. It's an internal struggle.
I did see a video not too long ago. It was posted on Facebook.
Crap,
and
they
it was
posted that?
No, it was the classic, what the escrow officer, what this person, what the client thinks they do, what the lender thinks they do, what the realtor thinks they do, what they actually do. Yeah, and it was really kind of funny. I think it's posted to my page.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah. Look at that.
You know, one of the things that we hear all the time, and, you know, every time Cindy and I hear it, all we can do is laugh, is when we call to schedule an appointment. And I love it when the borrowers and the buyers will go, well, I work for a living. I can't be there during that time. And 6:30, 7 o'clock works best for me because I have a job. And that always just kind of makes us chuckle, because I don't think that they realize that we also have a life outside of escrow. Of course, we're going to accommodate you, but at the same time...
I think we as realtors have to take the blame for that, because we don't have a life outside of real estate.
You do work at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
And I remember, you know, I know they're courtesy signings and really work around schedules, but when it's just thrown out there that there's no way I can make it between 8 and 5, that's completely out of the question. Then it kind of leaves the rest of us, you know.
Well, I guess you don't want the house then.
I'm a neutral third party. It doesn't really make that big of a difference if you purchase that house or not. No, I'm just kidding. We always accommodate, but it just always kind of makes us laugh when people say that to us.
Well, what I don't understand, and we have just a couple of minutes left, and again, I give a lot of credit to the people that work in the title and escrow industry, because I don't know how you all make any money at all, because I've seen what the title fees are and what the escrow fees are, and for what we as real estate professionals, I know, ask of you, and for what the customers ask of you, I don't think you get paid enough. So, I mean, and I have
That's why
had...
I'm a marketing rep and not an escrow officer.
There you go. And I mean, I have had clients who 7:30 at night, we were, an officer was accommodating us to sign us. And
Yeah.
I have made those 47,321 phone calls during the course of a transaction to an escrow officer who was solving a problem only to have the deal fail and nobody got paid.
Yep.
Right.
And I leave the office at 5, for the most part every day, unless I have something.
5:01 and 30 seconds out the door, just long enough to put the phones on night.
Yeah, well, and then I leave and Judy's still there with stacks of files. Cindy Morse, workhorse is just still sitting at their desk with stacks of files. They're not out of there at 5. If they have people they have to answer to at 8 a.m. the next day, they're there, and they have to accommodate to those schedules. So.
Because, we know that those phone calls, people are wanting answers. And if we've got loan docs that have come in, we're going to stay late and we're going to get them worked up. We want to get those closing statements out to everyone.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are buying or selling real estate here in the very near future, when you are in with your escrow officer signing the paper, just do me one favor. Tell them thank you. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I don't think so. This was fun. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. See, it took a long time to get you here, but it was a lot of fun, wasn't
yes,
it?
it
was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Oh,
for
absolutely my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Annalisa Zink and Judy Kiss from AmeriTitle in Albany. Great show. Again, thank you for coming, and I will have you back again later.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap up the show here with the market update after this break. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL.
Tougher than a $2 steak is one way to describe toughness. But what's tougher than talking tough is actually being tough. Like Kubota's B3200 tractor from Lynn Benton Tractor. It's equipped with a premium 4-cylinder 32 horsepower Kubota diesel engine, mid-PTO, and a hydrostatic transmission. You can see the B3200 at Lynn Benton Tractor's new location on McLean Street in Silverton, or as always along Highway 99E in Tangi. Having a confident smile can change everything. Just think if you never again needed tight lips to hide behind. Instead, think how you could feel during the liberating joy of a beaming, wide-open grin. It really can happen. Just call Dr. Dennis Clark and ask about Invisalign, the clear alternative to braces. Invisalign straightens your teeth with a series of clear, customized, removable aligners. If it weren't for the remarkable way they were transforming your smile, you'd hardly even notice them. And even though Invisalign aligners are virtually invisible, they can always be removed for eating or special occasions. Dr. Dennis Clark has been serving Mid-Valley residents since 1981. And that's why the Mid-Valley is brighter, happier, and yes, healthier. Whether you have crooked or widely spaced teeth or overbites, Invisalign treatments can help alleviate periodontal diseases and painful jaw and joint problems. For a free consultation about Invisalign, call the Laser Dentist, Dr. Dennis Clark in Lebanon at 541-451-1440 or toll free at 866-351-5453.
That's someone enjoying a wonderful meal at McDonald's. That's someone enjoying a refreshing Coca-Cola for only $1. And that's the harmonious flavor of McDonald's and any size icy cold Coca-Cola soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. It's hard to describe it any other way. The simple joy of... A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Some people don't get the Northwest. Sure, we're a little eccentric, but we take plenty of things seriously, especially when it comes to food. That's why McDonald's new Fish McBites are perfect. Wild-caught Alaskan pollock that's totally delicious.
The catch that's caught here. McDonald's new Fish McBites. Flaky, bite-sized pieces of Alaskan pollock cooked to crispy perfection. It's more fun flavor to love.
If it's eccentric to take food this seriously, then who wants to be normal?
At participating McDonald's, limited time offer.
Lines you should not open a sermon with.
Are you ready for some football? With the historic Elsinore Theater, a night of improv with Ryan Stiles, Thursday, March 7th at 7 p.m. Join Ryan Stiles, star of Whose Line Is It Anyway? The Drew Carey Show, and 2.5 Men as he performs 90 minutes of hilarious improv comedy. Join Ryan and 4 of the top new improv artists from Washington State. Bring your suggestions and you might be part of the show. Admission is $37. Get your tickets at ElsinoreTheater.com or call 503-375-3574.
Home improvement will never be the same once you've heard The Money Pit. Saturday mornings on Smart Talk 1580.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We're going to finish up the show today, as always, with the real estate market update. We'll begin in Corvallis, where inventory is up 11 from our previous report. Today, 119 active listings. The average asking price of $353,348. 90 homes have sold in the last 90 days. That's a good number, one a day. Even with the last update. Currently, 3.97 months of inventory is available in Corvallis. The median sold price over the last 3 months is up today at $255,000 even, averaging $158.68 per square foot. Homes are spending an average of 113 days on the market from listing to close of sale. In Lebanon, 65 homes are available for sale. That's down 1 from last week. The median asking price is also down today at $157,000. Over the last 3 months, 40 homes have sold. That's up 1 from the last report. The median sold price is also up today at $129,950. At $94.78 per square foot, homes spend an average of 158 days on the market, and there is 4.88 months of inventory and available in Lebanon today. Finally, to Albany, where inventory is up 7 from last week. 185 active residential listings. Still an incredibly low number. The average asking price in Albany is up, however, at $206,770. 107 homes have sold over the last 90 days. That's down 4. The median sale price is up, though, today at $163,400. Homes are spending an average of 146 days on the market from listing to close of sale, and the average dollar per square foot value in Albany is down at $103.08. There is today 5.19 months of inventory available. I want to take a second and go back and answer a listener question. And I saved it for this part because it does have to do with the market update. And the question was, the latest reports in the real estate market nationally say that home values are up 9% over, question marks, the last year. What's happened to values in the Valley? Well, in March 2011, so we'll go back 2 years, the median asking price in Albany was $181,050. The median sold price was $149,900. Today, the median asking price is $180,000, so that's pretty flat. But the median sold price is up at $161,486, and that is a rise, if I did my math correctly, of about 7% over the last 2 years. The Lebanon market, the median sale asking price was $136,700 in March 2011. The median sold price was $106,450. It dipped in that time frame in between, but today the median asking price in Lebanon's $164,700, and the median sold price is $126,000. So that's a rise of over 2 years, about 16%. Again, these are snapshots, and they do move around a little bit every week. Keep in mind, again, our numbers right now, going back 90 days, are capturing the month of December in those sold statistics, so it does reflect that holiday seasonality. But being able to look from March to March to March, you're capturing that seasonality in each of those 3 individual snapshots. We have seen some rise in prices. It's a faster moving market. So if you compare inventory versus sales as well, in March 2011, there were 282 listings in Albany, 113 sold in the previous 90 days. Now there's 178 listings and 111 sales. So inventory is way down, but the sales numbers are relatively stable over that time period. Similarly, in Lebanon, there were 108 active listings with 38 sales in the previous 3 months in 2011. Now, 66 listings, down from 108. 66 listings, 39 sales. So it's that same story. Lower inventory by far, sales numbers remaining fairly steady. That's going to indicate probably pressure to bring prices up. And until you start seeing more inventory coming on the market, that's going to be the case. And I think that's going to be the case for quite a while. So optimism abounds. I think we're looking for a really great year in real estate ahead of us in 2013. So that's the market update for March 7th. Again, my thanks to my guests today, Judy Kiss and Annalisa Zink from AmeriTitle. I appreciated their coming in. We had a great time talking to them. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We will be here next week talking about real estate on 1580 KGAL. That is Lebanon, Albany, and Corvallis. Have a great week. Enjoy the sunshine.
first choice in local news, sports, and smart talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.